Hello guys, welcome back to Let's Go Far Together. This is Alfonso Lopez, and today we're going to discuss the position of the winger. Specifically, it was requested by someone that watched our last video on the transitions defensively, or defensive transitions. And give you my notes here, just so you know I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. I don't know if it was from a perspective of a coach or from a perspective of a player, but I'll do a quick run through of what you have to ask yourself. So as a coach, you want to ask yourself, what type of players do you have in your roster, or what type of players are you looking for if it's the kind of setup where you know what kind of system you play and what formation you're going to play, and you can actually pick players that come into you. So that's from a coach's perspective. From a player's perspective, who do you look up to? And as I said, don't look up to people, look into them. So find out what they are like, what it is that they do, and try to grow through that instead of just looking up to people and revealing them. All right, which again, shouldn't be doing that anyway. The other question is, well, yes, we can go to the questions first. The other question is, what's the team formation on the team that you're going to play or that you play at now, whether it's at your high school or just your local club? And what is the team style of play? Because you may be looking at a team, for example, we can use this. You may be looking at a team that plays, look at the yellow, a 4-2-3-1 that has wingers here that are expected to play as double fullbacks when they don't have the ball, versus a system like this on a 4-4-2 with the midfield diamond that expect these guys to play more as strikers, but when this guy comes up, to go ahead and give width. So there's going to be different responsibilities, and we'll go through them real quick as far as what it is that you're looking for. But these are things you gotta ask yourself, and also the style of play of the coach. So are you gonna go, and if you're playing with the wingers here, when you don't have the ball, are you a pressing team, or are you a team that just goes into a low block like a Cholo Simeone's Atletico de Madrid, or do you play more like a Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, where you just go and press right away and it's frenetic and you just go non-stop? And those are the kind of things that you need to ask yourself, or you need to find out about whether it's the team that you play at, or maybe you can just ask your coach and see if you want to play winger, just simply ask coach, what can I do so I can play this position in this team? What skills do I need to have? What do you expect me to do? But I can give you insight of what you should be able to, as a very basic, what you should be able to know and do. Now, there's two types of wingers: inverted wingers and traditional wingers. It used to be, when I grew up watching the game, I still watch it, but when I was a kid, where the wingers were more of guys to just cross the ball. So a traditional winger, that's why it's called traditional, because we're old now. A traditional winger would be someone that will look to get one-on-one with their fullback, and for example, we get in here and get past him and put a cross in, or just drive all the way to the line and then cut the ball in, which you still see some guys like that, but it's very rare in today's game, regardless of what league you watch, or wherever you go to see the game. What you see a lot of today is what's called an inverted winger, where, again, when the winger has the ball here, first of all, on the traditional winger, it was a left-footed, excuse me, a left-footed on the left side and a right-footed on the right side. But nowadays, most teams are using inverted wingers. Think of Mohamed Salah, he's lefty, but he plays on the right. Bukayo Saka, lefty, plays on the right. Madueke, lefty, plays on the right. I know he can play over here too, but mainly this is his preferred position. Rodrigo is the only guy that you see from Real Madrid that plays this position as a right winger on the right-hand side. Right-footed winger on the right-hand side. But it's well known that he prefers this position, but this position is occupied by Vinicius Jr. at Real Madrid, is desired by Mbappe, who plays the striker as of right now, but he wants to be the right winger. Messi started as a winger. If you go back to the early 2000s when he started playing for Barcelona, he was a left winger, and Eto'o was the striker, and for a season actually was Ibrahimovic, and then they brought Villa and Suarez, and the rest is history. Now we enjoy him here at the MLS. Well, with that being said, the way it works now is the winger looks to take the fullback on and combine with the striker to then attack into the central space, coming into, again, because it's a right-footed player on the left-hand side, coming into his shooting foot, his preferred foot, to actually take a shot on target, or just, if this guy commits, makes a pass to this other guy, which again, if you're talking about like if you're a left-footed player and you're playing as an inverted winger, because that's what your coach requires, or that's what he enjoys, you'll be playing here with your left foot, which when this pass comes, if it comes, you're still on a great position to shoot. You don't have to wait for the ball to go across for you to hit it with your right foot, where it's more announced that you're going to go to the first post. Or just try to cross it here. You can take a touch and then make that guy guess, and then make your shot. Now that's something that as a coach I might do, but specifically on the high school team that I coach, is more, you can say it's more rigid or old-fashioned. And what I do is I have a left-footed player on the left wing, and I have a right-footed player on the right wing, but I only have one left-footed player in the whole 22-man roster. So when this guy gets subbed out, it's a right-footed player here, and it's a different player here, and then we play more with short passing and trying to get around here to find a good range of a shot or a penetrating pass. But that's too much information probably, I'm sorry. Now, what you want to look into, if you are regardless of what you are as a winger, whether you're playing an inverted or a traditional winger, you want to look to provide width for your team. So when your team is here and they are building out the attack, you want to be giving width. Again, unless your coach says otherwise. But the reason being is that if you're in here building out, your team is the one in red, and there's some pressure here, and these guys go up here to press. Your striker should be occupying the two center backs, and you need to isolate the fullback. Now, why is it important for you to stay wide? It's because if you come inside, it's very easy for the center back to support this number 4 here, to support the number 2 if you try to take him on, because he can come across and get you here while this other guy recovers. But if you have him out here wide, and let's just say this ball's played here, and then back in here, back here, combined with the number 8, and then from here, there's a long ball in behind, you should look to beat this guy in the space, and you should always be on sides. I don't know, and it frustrates me when I watch the game. I don't know why wingers get offsides, because technically you are literally the last man on the line. Because if this right back is defending you here, he needs to come off and like sit on the bench for a little bit and understand what he's supposed to be. I mean, if you got a fullback that is doing that, then kudos to you, and you're going to be having a great game, because anything in here is your lane. But if the defender's doing his job correctly, you should be able to see when you're offside. So when these guys are looking to combine and these guys are moving around, you should be able to tell you offside. Do not get too excited. What I advise you to do is make curvy runs. So it's just, again, this is why you stay so wide. So from here, you could run towards the center back, and that should be the cue for your player. Talk to your midfielder, talk to the guys that provide you the passes. And when you're running towards the number 4, that should be the cue to put the ball in behind. Again, this way you stay on sides. This guy's moving this way with you, and by the time the ball comes, he thinks you're going to stop it here, but it's actually going over or past, or just let it go past you if it's on the ground, and take this space, and that way they chasing in behind, and you got plenty of support. So stay wide to provide width. Make curvy runs so you can stay on side rather than being here and trying to time perfectly that step and leaving yourself offside. Because a lot of times, especially at the lower levels, obviously we don't have VAR or anything like that. You know that. If a pass comes and you're right here, but by the time you get it, you're way over here. There is some refs that might call that offside, even though it isn't. But we all make mistakes, and if you just that fast that you just beat this guy by 10 yards by the time that before the ball even gets to you, then they're gonna raise their flag and you hurting yourself. So if you already know you're faster than him, take a curving run around him, and that should be the cue for this pass to come. And then you're gonna be played onside 9 times out of 10. That guy's not gonna make a mistake. The guy on the sidelines, the assistant referee. Now, the other thing you need to look to do is, especially if you're an inverted winger, like I was showing you earlier, combine with your midfielders. So come inside, combine with them, and when your striker comes out of the position, that's when you make those runs. Again, a curvy running behind, so they can make a through pass, and you can go and attack that. Or when you have your player isolated, take him on and look to go inside to be able to take that shot. Force them to commit a foul in the box. And the easiest way to do that is once you get into the box, you run in diagonally like so, and these guys are covering like this. If you beat this guy, the best way to do, if you're looking for a penalty, the best thing to do is to come back, but with the ball behind you, so like a little cross turn, and they more than likely are going to kick the standing foot. And I'm just not trying to teach you to cheat, but I mean that's not cheating. If you get hit, this is how you look for contact. You hide the ball, step overs, shoulder dips, things like that, or cross turn. You hide the ball, and that player going at the momentum to try to stop you is going to hit you. Now, if you get hit, go down. Otherwise, if you stay up, most of the time, they're not going to call it. Now, I hope that makes sense, and I hope that clarifies what you should do as a winger. Obviously, out of possession. So when your team is here, again, this is depending on what your coach asks you to do, because I don't ask my wingers to defend a whole lot because I want to play them as two strikers when we don't have the ball, because I want outlets. Now, your coach might want the striker to stay up, to occupy two center backs, and he might want you, if this is you as a winger, he might want you to come back, like say this guy comes into the midfield so this guy can shift over, which that's understandable too, and you come inside here and support your fullback, with this winger. But what I do personally is I have my number 6 come inside as a center back, making me a back 5, and my number 8 and my number 10, my two creative midfielders, become a double pivot to DMs, while I have my wingers out here providing width, ideally occupying a minimum of 3 defenders, and this guy comes inside here to be the creative player, to be the player that looks for the pass, the little pocket of space, combine, or just turn and make those long passes in behind to break this defensive line. That is what I do tactically. Again, it all depends on what your coach wants from you, or as a coach, it depends on what you want out of your team. But this is what I do. I let my wingers out here, make my number 6 come inside, so that way my right center back, so my center back is the one that supports the fullback, and this guy's looking for the run of the 10. So if the 10 goes in here, it's not this guy's job, because then the number 9 is going to cut us. Because I need this guy to stay with the number 9. These two guys are pretty much occupying the number 9. If this guy runs in, this guy's the one that needs to pick him up. And then if this guy needs to get deeper because this guy's supporting, then so be it. That's what will happen. But we cannot just... What I don't want is I don't want all my players here, because then I don't have anyone to go out to. But this way, this guy supports, and the way it looks, when people are not making runs in behind, we got the left back worried about the opposite winger coming into the back post, while my right center back is supporting my right back. In case he gets beat, he can come in here and crush this. And even if this guy gets beat, again, you still got plenty of cover here, because by then this guy should have read this, and he can come here And if this pass comes back, then this will happen. Ideally, that's what I want to see from my players. Or if this guy stays with his number 10, the number 6 can come and block that again while these guys recover, because they shouldn't be just standing there once they get beat like cones. And this guy shift over, and at that point I want this guy worry about this guy, and this guy can come and block anything that happens at the top of the box. And if all you can do is clear it from here, if we get boxed in this bad, all you gotta do is clear it and get it out of there, and we'll regroup. We'll push our mid block and we'll regroup from there. But again, this is up to your coach and up to what you think your abilities are. If you're a left-footed player that is good at dribbling with your right, then you'll probably be a good right winger, especially if you got a really good shot. If you're shy about shooting, then maybe you need to be a winger on the other side. Or maybe being a winger is not a position for you and you should be a fullback and pretty much be a left back or be a left midfielder. But if you set on the wing, understand what your qualities are, understand what your team and your coach wants from you, and then work your hardest to do that. And it's the easiest position to play in a way, because if you have defensive responsibilities, they're not mainly to you, they're mainly the right back's responsibility. You just go to support. If you don't, then your main job is just to try to score goals and combine. But we all know this, if you miss 5 shots and you score 1, you're a hero. Versus your goalie, if he missed 5 stops and he scores 1, he's pretty bad. So it's not measured with the same standard. Maybe it's not fair, but it's the game we play and we love it, and this is how it is. So if you want something more specific, like especially for the person to request the video, please go ahead and leave it in the comments, and then I'll go from there. Because maybe it was a coach that wants to actually have inverted wingers and has a system of 3-4-3, and I didn't even touch that at all. So, or 3-5-2. So just let me know. Which if you're using 3-5-2, I guess you're not even using wingers, you're using wingbacks. So anyways, let me know if you need me to do something more specific. Don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe if you're new. This is something I'm trying to do for the players and coaches to get better. I love this game and I just want people to fall in love with it, so you can create a passion to stick with it and develop a discipline to continue and a consistency to stay at it no matter what. We'll see you guys.